Today, I would like us to talk about a word that is rarely used, but almost always misused. Fulsome. 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 What do you think it means? I'm sure you're tempted to say it means abundant, bountiful, lush, plentiful, copious. Well, if you were to give any of those answers, you would be wrong. Fulsome actually means excessively flattering. It's a word used to describe someone who gushes insincerely or pays exaggerated compliments. So you could say, Victor's fulsome letters did not convince Zoe of his love. And that would be saying it right.
All right, so that's how you say it right. All right, guys, let's get into the papers. Let's see what's making headlines in all the papers. And let's start off with health.
So I have the Daily Statesman. It says, major boosts for healthcare delivery. Akufo-Addo presents 10,000 hospital beds to the health ministry. And the Statesman captures it this way. It says, Ghana's healthcare delivery system has received a massive boost following the presentation of 10,000 hospital beds to the Ministry of Health by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for onward distribution to various hospitals across the country. Great news.
All right. Yes, there's so much health in the papers I've got in front of me as well. I'm going to rush through the headlines real quick. The Daily Guide has Nana hands over 10,000 hospital beds to MOH. Also, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, efforts to resolve ongoing strike action by nurses, and I think they mean strike, not strike action, by nurses and midwives. Government calls crunch meeting today. NLC, FWSC, and other allied health associations to be in attendance. Again, President hands over 10,000 hospital beds to Health Ministry is on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. The Finder does health as well. 10,000 beds for hospitals. President Akufo-Addo commits to end no-bed syndrome. And two stories about the nurses. One, nurses strike impedes health care delivery. And two, nurses at police and 37 military hospitals not on strike.
Right, so the Daily Graphic is still talking about health. President presents 10,000 beds for distribution to hospitals. And the Chronicle says 10,000 beds for hospitals. Okay, so that's it when it comes to health with the papers that I have.
Well, the New Crusading Guide is also reporting same. It says 10,000 hospital beds for healthcare delivery. And President says it's disconcerting to see patients being treated in wheel or plastic chairs and even on the floors because of the unavailability of beds.
Great, so let's get to politics. And the Ghanaian Observer says Akufo-Addo impacts over 2.5 million Ghanaian youth. And NPP exposes NDC over collapsed banks, says paying customers of DKM and others, a monumental feat. Still on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer and still talking about political stories. Vice President Bawumia inaugurates OT, Northern Region House of Chiefs. And top Muslim cleric blasts Mahama over mortuaries for Zongo promise. And then the Ghanaian Chronicle, says legalizing Okada is tantamount to robbing Peter to PayPal, and that's according to drivers associations. The Daily Graphic, EC to split polling stations with over 700 registered voters.
I've got some politics as well. Daily Guide, Imam fires Mahama over Zongo mortuaries. This is an ongoing thing. NPP gurus trade blows. And this, by the way, is supposed to have happened in the Western region. Interesting story. More goodies coming for students. That's also under the political lens. And the banner headline itself. Ghana VW is apotroka. Second hand better. And that is attributed to guess who?
Who?
Former President Mahama.
He says what?
According to the Daily Guide, former President Mahama says Ghana VW is apotroka.
Apotroka.
And second hand is better. Them know what's it.
I see. I see. Interesting.
Sticking with the political theme, there's a little bit more here. Court orders EC to register NDC parliamentary candidate for Cape Coast. Now, this is something that caused a lot of controversy. This is Mr. Nyakon, who was disqualified, but not anymore, according to a court. Can you imagine how much time he's lost?
Yes, but well, the good news is that he gets to be registered. Will he be registered in the Cape Coast North constituency? Remains to be seen.
Well, I also have some politics. The Daily Statesman, it says, NPP poo-poos NDC's Zongo mortuary promise as drivers also kick against Okada. The New Crusading Guide has a story. V. Baumia inaugurates OT and Northern Region House of Chiefs. And Nana B outlines 60 NPP feats in Ashanti.
Okay, let's get into other stories. And so the Daily Graphic talks about top-up pensions of 2020 retirees. That's according to the Trades Union Congress. And man stabs girlfriend to death, commits suicide. The Chronicle and the Splash, the big one. But before then, it's important we look at Luke 1:37. For nothing will be impossible with God. For nothing will be impossible with God. It says, Minister tells BEC candidates from public schools apply for top-tier schools. Government has allotted 30% quota for you. And that's it there. So that's it basically from me. And Drivers Union kick against legalization of Okada on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer.
Well, I have the Business and Financial Times. It says data usage spurs growth in telecom sector to 74%. That's great news for us, but this isn't. Only 6% of Ghana's 90 billion imports in 2019 had local insurance.
Oh, God.
That has to be improved.
That really needs to be fixed. Yeah, all right. Ghanaian Times has man commit suicide after murdering girlfriend. Same story that was in one of your papers, Winston. In the Daily Guide, well, I think we've done all of their stories. On the back, a few sports stories that we will touch on during the Sports Center. But here's what else the Finder has. Over 2.5 million youth positively impacted by Akufo-Addo government, according to youth agencies. And government supports entrepreneurs with disability with 200,000 COVID-19 relief grant, 200,000 Ghana cedis COVID-19 relief grant. And that's a story that also makes an appearance in on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. PWDs in Northern Region receive 200,000 Ghana cedis business support. Also on the back page, Minister implores stakeholders to promote domestic tourism.
Great. So let's get to do the stories online. And our online news review is brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goal Good Energy. So going cashless has never been this convenient and exciting. You know why? Because Goal e-payment system is now compatible with GH-Link, the national payment platform. So now you can use your GH-Link card on Goal POS machine to purchase fuel. GH-Link cards offer additional payment options for fuel purchases at Goal stations in addition to the Go card. And every fuel purchased is recorded automatically on your monthly bank statement, and that's helping cardholders track and manage their expenses. So go ahead, use your GH-Link card to buy fuel and all lubricants from any of Goal's over 400 stations across Ghana. Go cashless and protect yourself and stick to all COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goal Good Energy, Goal Yenara Yenzi. But you know, dear valued customers, it's been 15 great years of serving you. 15 years of your loyalty and unflinching support. So on the occasion of Zenith Bank Ghana's 15th anniversary, we say thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you. Stay with us. Let's reach new heights together. Zenith Bank celebrating 15 years of customer-centric banking in your best interest. But you know, at Surfline, connecting you to the hearts of those you care about during these times mean a lot to us. With Surfline's internet, you can be productive while working or studying from home. Even if you live at the outskirts of Accra, our newly introduced Air Fiber device will help you connect to a Surfline network more than 10 kilometers away with no stress. Dial star 718 star 77 hash or star 389 hash or star 365 hash to recharge your Surfline account with your mobile money wallet. You can also use ExpressPay, SlidePay, and Haptel mobile applications to recharge and stay connected during this period. Call us on 0302 745 777 for your Surfline Air Fiber device now. Surfline, it's about time. All right, so my journal line says Okada Riders Association to transport NDC members free of charge to and from voting centers. Interesting. And Errors in new voters register normal. EC justifies anomalies. And Akufo-Addo's fight against Galamsey has been a scam. Manasseh Azoria winning. Well, he was on the show yesterday. And he said, another online stories, citynewsroom.com says, government committed to addressing grievances of striking nurses. That's according to Bernard Okowai, who is Deputy Health Minister. And so, guys, in staying with health, and as we get into the details, I mean, of good news. The President has presented, his 10,000 beds for donation to hospitals in the country. And those are the daily graphic captures. And it says that President Akufo-Addo has presented 10,000 hospital beds to the Ministry of Health for distribution to health facilities across the country. Now, he also inspected ongoing works at the 65-bed COVID-19 treatment center at Panta in the Greater Accra region. And the beds, we're told, include 1,500 critical care beds with overhead tables, 2,000 standard beds with backside lockers, and 4,000 health center beds with bedside lockers, 1,000 children's cots, and 1,500 delivery beds. The president, who made the presentation at the Air Force Base, Abubakar, said the beds, which have been customized to maximize comfort for patients, would be distributed to health facilities in all 275 constituencies.
Okay.
10,000 beds. And the head of our health desk is here.
Well, I didn't think we should be distributing to constituencies. We should rather be distributing to districts. That's the structure of our development, and so we should do that. Once you bring in constituencies and the rest, then it turns political.
Right.
But it's great news. Whichever way you look at it, it's great news. Except that we need to be sure that we're taking good care of these beds. And I expected the hospitals themselves, considering the charges they take from our patients, to be able to provide some of these beds. But if they've not been able to, and government is doing it, we expect them to maintain them, keep them in good shape, and maybe add to it such that in the near future we're not at the situation where we are adding to it.
Yeah, it's a good point about the constituency versus district thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, in Kumbungu, where Ras Mubarak of the NDC is the member of parliament, how will that work? Will they hand the beds over to Mr. Mubarak to go and distribute them?
That's the question.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to. But I'll tell you what else. Should we not rather be means testing the hospitals? There are some hospitals that need beds more than others. There are some hospitals that need certain kinds of beds more than others. So should we not rather have the hospitals do a bit of an audit and come back and say, okay, well, we need 5 maternity beds, but we don't need children's beds, so that we can maximize their use rather than sort of split them evenly, and then we'll end up not solving the problem enough in some places and perhaps over solving it in other places. You know what I mean? So I would have liked to see a bit of work go into the basis for these purchases, but it is good news. Very good news, especially the maternity beds. They are badly needed. But we also need to determine that there are some beds that need replacing in the hospitals already. There are some beds that just are no longer fit for purpose and they need to be replaced. So when the president says that he will solve the no-bed syndrome, I believe he means that he will do even more than this to solve it, because this on its own would not be sufficient to solve
Exactly,
it.
and we'll talk about this some more because we have about over 20,000 beds in all hospitals in this country, and so donating 10,000. It's good. But that'll be after the BBC News. We'll have to go for the BBC News now. But before we go for the BBC News, first, these messages.